Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of my art videos. Now, this one is going to be a little different than my usual ones, and some of you are probably wondering, paranormal painting, what is that? This is actually a new series that I will be recording where you get to see one of my masterpieces come to life, all while I tell you a little ghost story. But before we get into today's ghost story, if you like my work, be sure to subscribe to our channel and consider subscribing to our Patreon, where you can get early access to sneak peek work in progress photos, quick tip videos, merchandise, artwork, lessons, and so much more. I'll be sure to post links in the description. We'll have that up and running very soon, and my business partner and I will be doing a lot of collaboration for sure. Now, a little bit about this particular piece that I am currently working on. It is titled Starry Nightmare. This is actually a piece that was done for a friend of mine who happens to also be my business partner. So please enjoy this video while I tell you a little tale. I only felt that it was appropriate that I start this new series and kick it off with a personal story. So, to start right off the bat, my aunt's house is haunted. It has been haunted for as long as I can remember. I practically grew up in that home. And to give you a little bit of history, I used to be babysat at my aunt's house quite a bit. And growing up, there were several different things that many people in the home had witnessed. Sometimes it was family, and later on in the years they began to bring different practitioners in, sometimes Wiccans, or I believe they brought in a medium once. But the overwhelming answer is always the same, that there is something very dark and heavy in that home. Many of my family members, specifically the ones that live there, have witnessed things like knocking on the walls, different noises, things shuffling around in their closets. Some of them have experienced red glowing eyes or voices. But one thing in particular stands out for me among all of it, and that's that overwhelming feeling of being watched on a constant basis. If any of you have experienced the paranormal or anything like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for those of you who have not, it's a little jarring. It's very frightening to have something in your home or something in someone else's home that you frequent, to know that there's something there, but to not be able to prove it and always feel like it's lurking around every corner. That is definitely the feeling that I get in this home. There have been different reports of portals being opened in that home. Just a lot of different activity for sure. But there's one night in particular that always stands out for me more than any other experience I've had in this home. So, as I said, we used to get babysat there a lot, and this was a day where we spent the day at my aunt's house, and we had decided that we wanted to spend the night as well. We did this quite often. So my mom came over after work and spent some time with my aunt. All of us were in the living room watching TV. It was my mom and my aunt and myself, my brother, and a few of my cousins. And again, we're all just watching TV, playing. My mom and my aunt are having a conversation. Pretty normal night for us. And as we're watching TV, as we're conversing, we all at the same time hear this sound. It's not one of those sounds that is very unmistakable. This was a very, very clear and very loud sound. Above us on the second floor, all of a sudden we hear this huge boom right above our heads on the second floor. And the best way I can describe this sound was almost as if someone had dropped a giant chest or a giant trunk on the floor, very heavy, very full of stuff. It was a loud enough sound that this is a very old house. It kind of shook the ceiling a bit. And when something like that happens and it startles you, there's a couple of things that are going on in your mind. Number one, my first reaction was, okay, who's playing a prank? Who's upstairs? So I start to do a mental head count in my head as I'm looking around the room, and I'm checking to see, yeah, okay, yep, everybody that is in this house is in that room with me. And my second reaction was, oh gosh, if nobody is up there, please tell me that the rest of you heard the noise that I just did. So there's kind of almost this mental cue of everyone just looking at each other back and forth. I'm looking at my mom, and then I'm looking at my aunt, and then I'm looking at my cousins, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we all just heard that sound. And it felt like a century had gone by, but really this happened all in a matter of just a few seconds. And my mom and my aunt at the same time look at each other, and they both go, what the hell was that noise? And just as soon as those words came out of their mouths, we began to hear another sound. And it almost sounded as if whatever had been dropped on the floor above our heads was beginning to be dragged across the floor. So again, it sounded like a heavy trunk full of stuff began to drag across the floor. And we're all just frozen in place and also freaking out at the same time. This goes on just for a few more seconds, and then it just stops. And at this point, we're all freaking out because we all are confirming that we just heard that noise. So there's a little bit of a chaos going on of, who's going to go up there and check, what was that noise? What do we do? Is someone up there? And my brother and I were like, we don't want to spend the night. We just want to go home. But my mother so helpfully reminded us that we in fact already agreed to stay there. And there was a bit of a debate that went on for a while, because my mother and my aunt, being the brave women that they are, wanted to send the children up there to go investigate and see what the noise was, because my cousins lived on the second floor. So we were going to have to go up there and bunk with them at some point. So there was a little bit of argument and debate, and we kind of settled into the evening. My mom stayed a little bit longer, but the evening grew to be long, so she had to head home soon. And all of us kids finally decided we're gonna go up there. We are not gonna go alone. So we make this chain line, all going up these old creaky stairs, which didn't help matters because it just fed into that atmosphere that we had already felt. And unfortunately, you have to go past the basement door to get upstairs, which is also terrifying. But we got up there, we looked around, we searched, we checked every single room. Nothing. Not a thing was out of place. Nothing had fallen over, nothing had been moved. Everything was just as it was, almost as if it had never happened. And that is just one of the many stories of my aunt's haunted home. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Please let me know what you think. If you want me to do more stories like this, I would be happy to. I'm already getting stories piled together for you. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this piece. Stay safe, stay spooky. Thank you all for watching, and most importantly, love each other. And I'll see you next time.